Hey, who was that? Drop your name. Let me know who that is. Hey, y'all. Let's see. Chatting options. Chat. Hey, Sadell. How are you? Oh, my goodness. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey. Thank y'all for jumping on. Okay, y'all. So, as you can tell by the title, hey, Teresa. How are you? I wanted to just go what I feel in this moment. Hey, D. Hey, y'all. Y'all are coming on here. I'm so thankful for y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Hey, Vera. How are you? Y'all give this video a big thumbs up. I'm not sure if I'm going to hey girl from Mississippi, Shantae, how are you, honey? That's on you neighbors. We neighbors. What part of Mississippi are you? I'm great. Thank you so much. Sadell, am I saying your name right? This was totally, y'all, I was literally sitting back there folding clothes and was like, no, this just pressing on me. Let me just go. Let me just go talk to somebody. I'm good. I'm good. But y'all, I'm on the fence. I know we've all been privy to. We know what has happened. Hey, Hannah, how are you? But I'm on the fence about what I'm feeling in this moment, y'all. Yes, I am your neighbor. It just is what it is. Will Jada and them with Chris Rock and them, y'all, I need to know that I'm not the only one feeling like I'm feeling, y'all. Listen, it ain't nothing decor wise. This is just straight up woman to woman conversation. And I need to know that I'm not wrong in feeling what I'm feeling. So for those that are on, have you recently moved back 50? After 50 years? Oh, wow. So you just coming back home. Hey, Pamela. I'm not going to hold y'all long. This is my first live. Hey, Desiree, thank you for joining. Unfortunately, well, I guess I can throw some decor in here, y'all, but this ain't got nothing to do with decor. This is just your girl just wanting to talk to some other women and just see if y'all feeling how I'm feeling. Hey, who is that? Sweet Brainy L. Russell. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. I'm on the fence as well. I just wish Will did not let it get to that point. Okay. Okay. Let y'all chime in. Let me know what y'all are feeling. And then I'll, kind of chime in as well. Hey, who is this Miss 7718? How are you? Have a pretty profile pic. I'm just kind of torn. Of course, my husband and I talked about it last night. I have been getting phone calls after phone calls all day. Just been toiling with some things about, how I feel. Of course, looking into what everybody else in the world is saying about it, men, women, celebrity, non-celebrity, all of the things, stepping out right. Hey, stepping out right. How are you? I did. There's so many layers to it though. There's so much behind that one act. And me being who I am, I take everything back to the word, honey. I think he went too far. Okay. Some people saying, hey, Tanji, how are you? The Bible instructs us as believers to not let your good be evil spoken of. And I thought Jada should have stopped him. I think I would have. I've heard that narrative as well. Like there are so many variables and so many point of views to consider in this whole situation, and it just goes to show, hey, Fun Creations, how are you from Dallas? I'm gonna be in your area soon, real soon. It's important for us to, whether you got a platform or not, whether 10 people or 110 people or 100,000 people, it doesn't matter. You have to really consider your actions and take into consideration what one split decision can do and how it can affect so many others around you. And I was talking to a couple of girlfriends, some believers, well, all of us are believers, but some are leaders, in the church and different things like that. And everybody kind of we need to have lunch yes, that would be wonderful. That would be so much fun. And I'm going to be down there doing some play and some work. So on my playtime, I would love to connect with you, sis. Wrong place and time. Okay, I've heard that narrative. Some feel her rolling her eyes was Will's cue to do something. I think that he could have talked to him afterwards. I really hate it happened. I agree. And what's crazy, y'all, is that I agree with so many different points of views because, again, there's so many layers to this. And although we looking at the actions of two men, it was more than those two men that were affected by that one split decision. And I just, you can't go back in time. And like they say, hindsight is 2020. And I know that recently they both have made statements, apologizing one to the other. Chris made a statement apologizing to Will Smith, Jada Smith, and the family. Will made a statement apologizing to, Chris and the academy and all of that. But that one act totally overshadowed all of the things that were to be celebrated in that evening. Y'all, there was so many great things that occurred. I'm not even an Oscar fan. I always watch what they wore after. I see the critics of what people were wearing. That's what I think it was something that could have been discussed behind the scenes. Very upsetting. I agree. I've heard so many narratives. He went too far, but I understand he was he was offended by what his wife was dealing with. I agree with you, Tanji, on that. It's so many variables to this, y'all. So, case in point, this was the first Oscar that was ever produced by an African-American producer. Will Packard did an amazing job. I thank God that he didn't press. I'm thanking God that he didn't press charges either. And he did an amazing job. You had Samuel L. Jackson that won an award. You had the young lady that won for Best Supporting Actress. You had the Venus, the Williams sisters. The movie itself was celebrating them and their legacy and the sacrifice of their family. Because although Venus and Serena, who we see in the limelight, it was a sacrifice on the entire family for them to get where they are. So it was just so much. Like, even Megan Thee Stallion was like the first African-American rapper to perform there. You had Beyonce performing on the actual court in Compton where the girls trained when they were children. It was so many like monumental things to be celebrated. Yet the only thing we're talking about is that those 30 whatever seconds that incident occurred. And that's why I'm so saddened by it. Like, and even the fact Will won the Oscar, he won Best, Male Actor. It's just so many things that were overshadowed by that one incident. But then the flip side of that, the wife in me is like, if somebody is doing something offensive to me, I want my man to ride for me. However, not at the expense of hurting or causing detriment or overshadowing something that's important to others. So it said, why is it funny? At first thought, his first response was almost a belly laugh, then seconds later. I think just from what I've seen in the footage, it looked to me like he kind of chuckled just to, save face or whatnot. But then when he looked over at his wife and saw her response and that she wasn't, okay with the statement, that's when the protector in him jumped up. And I get it, but I just wish that it, was handled differently. But I started to question, and this is why I'm coming to y'all, because I'm like, well, how are we, especially as African-American women, I don't know if there's any what other nationality on here, but it's for I can't speak for no other nationality but my own. Oftentimes we feel like we're not protected. If you're a single mother, you've been divorced and you're left out, been left alone to deal with things, or just kind of your life been turned upside down, we're oftentimes left alone to deal with things or carry things on our own. So to have somebody have your back, that is a feeling like no other. So I get it from both standpoints. I've been that woman that, was on her own and trying to, just pick up the pieces and redo this thing called life. So I get it from that standpoint, but I also get it from the standpoint of, if you're in a position of influence, you have to be careful of the things that you say, things that you do, your actions. And again, I think Will was justified in protecting his wife. I would have wanted nothing less. However, I heard someone say Jada should have stopped him. It says Chris issued an apology to Will, stating that he crossed the line. And that's another variable. Like when you think about comedians, and some of them are saying like, that's what we do. We're paid to tell jokes. We're paid to make people laugh. But do you make people laugh at the expense of hurting other people? And then it was from the variable of, what the people in Chris's camp, they dropped the ball. Like somebody should have looked more in depth into this. I'm sure when he wrote his whole little skit out that somebody on his team looked over the jokes or whatever, and he ran the punchlines across somebody. Somebody should have said, hey, that might be a little sensitive, given the fact that Jada has publicly gone out and spoke about her issues with alopecia, and that she has a disease that is causing the alopecia. One of the side effects of her sickness is the alopecia. So she's been very candid about, it being a sensitive issue for her. Well, they say the joke was not a part of the rehearsal. Now, see, that in itself could be an issue. Like, I've been in comedy shows. I'm gonna get back to Jada. I've been in comedy shows where comedians, like, say for instance, somebody comes in and they're late and they're on the front row, that comedian's going to automatically start roasting somebody coming in, or he'll pick people in the audience and roast them. But you don't know the mental state, you know what I'm saying, the emotional state of people that you're making a joke about. So you don't know what their reaction would be. And then I've also been in a show where people in the audience have poked at the comedian and kind of threw them off of their whole little skit. So they got angry. So I've seen it, from both sides, and I'm trying to play the advocate and see this situation from everybody's angle. And honestly, y'all, is there any right? Because what in the world? Oh, so like, Will should have defended his wife, but should he have taken it that far? Chris Rock was paid to tell jokes, but should he have considered that man have been sensitive? They do fly from the hip also. Yeah, and I kind of think that, I don't know, the way he's, I don't know, because now I will give Chris Rock his credit, and that he is a very good comedian, and he's good at doing fly by the hip stand up. I've seen him do it. But I don't know, the G.I. Jane thing was kind of calculated. I don't know. I don't know if it was, he did it off the whim. Please, something. Thank you. I don't know if I don't think he meant it with ill intent. I think he was just telling jokes. But given the fact that Chris Rock has been in the heat for telling distasteful jokes, even to the point to where a joke he told about Gayle and Oprah some years ago was edited out of the Oscars. Did y'all know that? That he made a comment about them being a couple or something, and Gayle and Oprah, of course, did not take lightly to it, so that the Academy edited it out of the video. So that tells me that he has this history of crossing the line. You know what I mean? And it's like, you can't hit somebody and tell them how to respond. So I'm looking at it from every angle. It says Chris and his friends. Chris is friends with Will and Jada. He knew how, okay. So, and I've even seen pictures of the three of them together surface on the internet. So, y'all, I don't know. I would want my husband to defend me, but not at the cost of it affecting him or overshadowing a very monumental moment for him. Like, he literally won the Oscar. And it was like, I'm sure that the energy in the room was totally shifted after that happened. I don't think he will honestly ever know how he felt. I think who's this lady who says, I don't think we will ever honestly know how he felt in that moment as a husband, yet don't agree that he should have chose. I agree. Who was it? Somebody said they have alopecia. And I can tell you that the joke is not warranted. They're not warranting assault. That slap was not about the joke. It was, I agree. And me being in the hair industry, I deal with women all the time who suffer from alopecia, and it is not a laughing matter. The Bible says that our hair is our glory. We're the man's glory, but the hair is our glory. So if you're stripped of that for whatever reason, be medical, because stress can take your hair right off your head. Medications, you can go through surgery and anesthesia will take your hair out your head. You can have children. Like, I have women who deal with alopecia areata from having babies. I deal with women that develop an allergic reaction to glue. It's so many things that can cause hair loss. Yet there's so little things that can be done to restore or rectify it. In some cases it can be, in some cases it can't be, but it's still a very sensitive issue. So I don't think it should have been taken lightly. And like I said, I don't know if Chris knew that she was dealing with this issue or not, but I just hate that moment overshadowed the greatness of the evening. So many great things happened. So many people, came out on top of that evening with, like I said, with the producer, with Samuel L. Jackson, Beyonce, Megan Thee Stallion performing. It was just a lot of first for us in our culture. And the first thing people want to do or say is, we, our people, can't go nowhere and act, a certain way. And I don't think in that moment Will really cared. He was being a husband. He was protecting his wife. He knew because they were friends. Okay, somebody said he knew because they were friends. So given that, I don't want to say good for Will, because on one hand, we can't say that we don't like the violence that we see portrayed against our people, and then our people display violence against each other, and we're okay with it. So you have to kind of take that into consideration as well. Like, had this been a situation, if it was two different races, people have asked that question, would it have been handled differently? I don't know. But what we're dealing with is the fact that it wasn't handled differently, and this man assaulted another man on national TV. And at first, guys, when I saw it, I thought it was a joke. I was like, did he really just do this, or it has to be a joke? Hold on, somebody said I was sad. I was sad too, blessings. Sometimes it's that one thing that, so the cherry on the top. And I've heard that people are saying, Will and Jada have been the center or the butt of the jokes for a couple of years now. And people are making the situation with the entanglement of it all be part of this. But to me, you can't bring the two incidents together. That is a totally separate, isolated incident. And how he dealt with that is how he dealt with that. He may be feeling like, listen, I didn't check August, but I'm gonna check this one. We don't know where Will's mind was. But the fact that it happened is what I'm still in shock. Like, did this really just happen? Are we really just seeing, as we call the black elites, behave this way? And then when I see the clip of Denzel and Tyler Perry going over to try to, talk to Will, and like, I would love to know what they said to him. Like, what I know, he told a little bit about what Denzel said, like, when you at your highest is when the devil comes. And that is so true. I've heard the statement, for every new level comes a new devil. So we have to be careful, of how we conduct ourselves, because again, y'all, he won the Oscar. This man won the Oscar, and here you are. We're not celebrating that. The whole world is talking about you assaulting another man. But me coming from a place of, I know what that's like as well. Like, I know what it is to be in a situation of conflict that you didn't initiate, and this person throw a rock, and then all they see is your response. And so it's kind of like everybody's attacking Will for what he did, or the way he did it. A lot of people are in agreement with him protecting his wife, but they wouldn't have handled it. Many say they wouldn't have handled it that way. And that's kind of where I'm leaning towards. But then there are so many other, again, layers to look at and peel back in this situation. As a celebrity couple, they are the victims of scrutiny a lot of times. Even with, our platforms, we're nowhere near on the level that they are. But when we put ourselves out here to do videos, people make comments, and not all comments are good comments. And so you have to take the good with the bad. But I don't know if he just got fed up, y'all. I don't know. It says, I'm unsubscribing. What you mean? Who freaking cares? People are starving. Gas prices and groceries will. Jada is just absurd. We don't know those people. Only what they. Well, Tammy, honey, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Good riddance. If you want to unsubscribe. I hope I'm not misreading that, but I don't know. Anywho, I came on because I wanted to see where my community, what y'all thoughts were, how y'all felt about it. I want to know that I'm not the only one feeling how I feel. Like, I didn't get joy in seeing him hit this man, but I felt good about him protecting his wife. So that's kind of where I'm in conflict. They're like, okay, I think it was because it was a medical condition. Slap him. Somebody said slap him again. Carrie, hey Carrie, how you doing? It's been brought to the forefront that she definitely has a condition that causes her alopecia. And again, I know how sensitive that could be, being in my industry. Like I said before, women are very sensitive. We're sensitive about our hair. Whether it's broke off, you're not misreading. Okay, Teresa, so good riddance, sis. But people can be very insensitive about things like that. And I have heard comedians take it too far. And this was just an incident that it's unfortunate that we saw it on play, on national TV. But moving forward, like, what does it make you think, or how does it make you look at comedians? Like, will this make you judge comedians from a different viewpoint? Will this make you more hey Debbie, will this make you more sensitive to the scrutiny that, you know, celebrities go through? Like, to me, I try to find the good in every situation, even if it's a bad situation. Like, what's the lesson and what's the blessing? Like, God, what are we to take from this as a people? Like, you allowed this to take place on national TV for a reason. So what are we, the people, to take from this? How can we take this and make better choices in our life? How can we take this and either, you know, pray for the celebrities, because they are under pressure. We all are under pressure. I mean, the world is, honey, just absurd at this point. But what did you take from it? Like, what did it make you, or did it affect some people? It may not affect them at all. It affected me because I love to see us win. I love to see us on top. I love to see us shining. And to me, I was just so excited that, you know, the story, what is the name of the show? The movie? I don't want to misquote the name of the movie. It says if we hadn't taken him off camera, they would have been different. You think so? You think it would have been different? I don't think she has a problem with her hair. She has a video of her being asked how she felt about it. She said she loved her head. Teresa, I saw that, but I also saw another video of her saying that she wrestled with it, that she wrestled with the with insecurities, and she had always been a very secure woman, and that this situation brought out insecurities that she didn't have initially. So I've seen her do both. I've seen her say, King Richard, that's the name of it. Thank you, Teresa. Like, I was so excited. I was so excited that, you know, Will Packer was getting to produce the Oscars. I was so excited, you know, that Beyonce was going to be performing. And when I saw her performing on the actual court, like, it was so many things, y'all. Like I said, I just keep saying that should be celebrated, but that's not what we're talking about. You see what I'm saying? That's not where the highlight is. And so I don't know where, you know, what I'm sure they will. The only consequence comes after the flip. After elaborate on that, Arena. After the flip, what do you mean by that? Don't say negative things about a man's wife. I totally agree. I totally agree. I heard somebody say, and I think somebody here in the comments said that Jada should have stopped him. She should have pulled him by the arm and pulled him back down in the couch or on the chair or whatever. And I'm gonna give this little incident. And because I mean, Jada is not a big woman, and compared to Will, even if she had, could she, if your man is angry in that moment, could you have restrained him? Because I don't know if many of you have seen look clips of my husband that you have seen. My husband's a big dude, 6'3", 275 pounds, mostly muscle. And there was an incident that occurred, and and my husband is very, very quiet, mild-mannered man, but when he's angry, honey, it's on. And so an incident happened where he got upset about something that someone had said about regarding me. And I'm mentioning it to him just in frustration because I'm tired of hearing this thing repeated. The next thing I know, this man jumps up, and I see a rage in his face that I had never seen before. And so me with my little 5'7" self trying to pull this big man back, and his rage, honey, I was like a little fly. He just flung off the shelf. No, I wouldn't judge comedians any different. Okay, it's their jobs, but we have to learn to handle our emotions. I agree with that. This platform of conversation tonight is not for us to fuss and fight, but rather have it easy. And exactly, we're supposed to. I just wanted to have a civil conversation. There is static on your end. Am I missing something? A winning night for us. Will took it to the level of the streets. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. And I'm sure he has, when he looks back on it, he has some regret. But getting back to what, like, people saying that Jada should have stopped him. But if this big man, even if she tried, could she really have stopped him? Because in my incident, even when I tried, I couldn't stop my husband. And he handled it the way he handled it. And in that moment, I felt very, very much protected. I felt like my man is standing for me. Hey, Leonie, I felt like he was protecting me. So I felt a sense of safety that that otherwise I felt like he would ride for me anyway, but to see it actually play out, wasn't in front of millions of people. However, there's a sense of security that comes with that. But what my point was, when that man is angry, because she really have had stopped, because she have stopped him. The way he stomped up there and slapped that man, I don't think anybody could have stopped him. Maybe it's on my end. Does anyone else hear static? Oh, you're saying there's like static noise. Does anyone else hear static? Can everyone else hear me clearly? It does. It takes a big man to apologize, and I'm happy that, you know, maybe their individual camps got to them and said, "Will goes to jail. Will wait on jail." I heard. I don't know where static is coming from. Um, they're saying sometimes. I don't know what's causing it, y'all. I don't know. But I mean, I'm not going to be on here long. I just kind of wanted to see where my sisters were, see how y'all felt about it. Did you feel like Will was wrong? Did you feel like Chris was wrong? Will laughed at first, but when he saw how, yeah, that's what I saw too. And when I saw he laughed, but it wasn't like a, oh my God, it's funny type of laugh. It was like a chuckle, you know, kind of to save face, you know, to try to keep your dignity. But when he looked over and saw his wife was feeling some kind of way, that changed everything. We would never know what was triggering the factor to set up. I agree. We need to just pray. I agree, Myra. I think Will is dealing with something serious. Somebody else said the same. I've heard that too, that slap was for every joke that was ever told. That slap was for every person that ever spoke ill about the entanglement. That slap came from the ancestors. So, and I kind of felt that. Okay, I'll just pray. I agree. That we should pray. Now, I'm not saying that I'm trying to, it's not a, oh my God, y'all see what happened? I really have been pondering like the whole thing. Like, how did it escalate so fast? And then another question that came to mind is, what was security? When he returned to his seat, he smiled. That means, she smiled, that means she approved. Is there still static? I see Mara said that there was static. I'm trying to catch some of the comments are rolling up too fast and I'm not getting them. Okay. But I don't know. What would you have done? What would y'all have done if that was you and that was your mate? How would you feel? Like, what would you have done? What would you have wanted him to do the exact same thing? Would you have wanted him to go backstage and handle him backstage or at the after party, or, you know, call him up later? Like, yeah, like where was security? Because he was marching like Sophia going to war, honey. Like, that walk was not a, I'm just gonna go up here and give the brother a handshake. That he was walking like, I'm fixing to go lay some hands. Hey, from McKinney, Sharonda, how are you? That's true, Vera. They do put that business out there, and that's where another one of my my YouTube sister and I was discussing. Like, we kind of related. I don't know what I would have done. I would have tried to stop him. I would have tried. I wouldn't have wanted him to go up and be physical. Now that's where I would want him to defend me, especially if you see that I'm hurt by it. But I wouldn't have wanted to get physical unless a person tried to physically, you know, do something to him or me. But I wouldn't have wanted it to go that far. But like somebody made the statement, it says I would have stopped my mate, but sometimes we don't really know what we would exactly. And when you're in that, it's easy for us all to say what we would have done, what he should have done, how it could have been done. But until you're in that situation, you just really don't know. You don't know what you would do in the heat of the moment. So my thing is, you know, just be prayerful and mindful. God, keep me chaste, that my words be seasoned with grace, that my actions be, you know, edifying and glorifying to you. Like, that's always my prayer. God, don't let me say or do anything that would disrupt the kingdom. Don't let me do anything that would bring shame or reproach to my family. And because we're human and Will is human. Okay, good. She says it's better now. Will is human. Will has endured a whole lot in the last couple of years with his marriage. She probably didn't know that he was going to handle, you know, she didn't know he was going to handle it. And then she didn't know that that's how he was going to. I'm sure she didn't know, you know, that's what, because it all happened so quickly. You know, I think the minute he looked over and saw his wife with her face broke up, he just charged up there. Hopefully this doesn't give people the slap. Yeah, then I thought about that too, Olivia. Like, I don't want people to feel like this gives them a leeway to so the comedian, because the comedian still has to do their job. You know what I mean? But I just think they need to look a little deeper, or be a little bit more aware of the jokes that they tell, and what the overall effect of those jokes could be. Handle it backstage, yeah. Especially if they have a relationship on any level. It could have been handled backstage, and that's what my husband said. He would have definitely met him as soon as he walked out. Say he would have met him on stage left, like he said. I'd have been right there. I've been the first face he saw when he stepped off that stage, and we would have addressed it that way. And which I get that, because again, my husband is not a confrontational guy. So, and that's another thing, you gotta know your mate. Know what'll make them pop off, because if they love you, even as a woman, like, you don't want to see nobody, hurt or do something to your man or to your children. Like, we just have that. It's an instinctive thing for us to protect those that we love. So again, I'm not saying that Will was wrong for defending his wife. I just wished that it didn't play out the way it did. Yes, Tana, that even before I get up to do a video or do anything, before I get up to teach a class or a hair show, I pray that my words be seasoned with grace, because people make the comment, sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me. Y'all, that's a lie. Because think about it, if somebody hits you, that you may feel that sting for a moment and it goes away. But if you be honest, think about things that were said, that may have been said to you as a child, that was hurtful. And some of those very same words to this day in our adulthood taunt us or haunt us or replay in our mind. Like, somebody could tell you that you would never be nothing, or you're just like your daddy, or something hurtful that mess with you mentally. Those words can linger on. Yeah, words definitely hurt. And so this man has listened to words after words after words in the name of key jokes being told about his family, about his children, about his marriage, and all of the things. And yes, I do feel like some of the table talks that Jada has had has been a little bit I don't know, too public. Like, sometimes you can overshare things about your relationship. You really have to guard your relationship, because you give people access to you when you open the door. And so I think some doors, as far as their relationship, the way it functioned, should have been kept private. However, in that, I don't want to compare other incidents to this incident. In that moment, he should have protected his wife. I just don't agree with the way he protected his wife, is what I'm saying. I don't know, y'all. I'm so hurt by it. And I didn't think, I'm like, why? And I kept asking, I said, God, why is this affecting me the way it's affecting me? Because it's just celebrity. My thing was just celebrities, they'll be friends tomorrow. But it made me look deeper at things. Like, you have to be careful of those split-second decisions. So you have to always be prayed up, steadfast, always be in a mindset of calm, because you don't know what situation you're going to be put in. First, find out if the man even knew that his wife had an illness concerning her. And Barbara, I think that has been addressed. Some say that they don't think he knew. Some say that he was friends with them, so that he knew. Next year there will be changes, and Black will be in the back. Oh my God, Leon, don't say that. Also, that was bad for Chris. And see, that's the thing. Chris has been under scrutiny before for distasteful jokes at the Oscars, to the point that they had to be edited out. So I don't know. And then someone else made a valid point. I think when somebody says, Susan Myers says, it should have been handled off stage. I bet from this day forward, only family jokes will be kept out of everybody's. And some things have to be off limits. You know what I mean? Like, even I can remember, like, when Beyonce had Blue Ivy, and we know that baby, for the first 4 years, she didn't ever comb that baby hair. She was just free, and people joked about it and talked about it. And I often wonder, because Tina Knowles is a hairstylist. That was her trade before Destiny's Child. She was a hairstylist. She had a hair salon in Houston, and people would often say, well, why don't her grandmama, if Beyonce don't know how to comb her hair, why grandma don't comb her hair? And so Beyonce came out and made a statement that, she was trying to protect her baby's edges. She didn't want to pull her hair in the ponytails. And so you don't know why people do what they do the way that they do. And so little stuff like that, like, as a celebrity, you're going to be a victim of scrutiny. That's just a given. People are going to have an opinion because you put yourself out there in the public light. But that doesn't mean that people have the right to be hurtful because you're in the public light. And I think we have to be sensitive of other people's feelings. Like, put yourself in that person's shoes. Like, Chris he does jokes. That's what Chris does in the Oscars. And I went back and looked at some of his other jokes from other Oscars that he's done, and he's told some pretty outlandish jokes, said some jokes like on other people, but they just didn't get offended. They didn't respond like we'll responded, but we don't. I take that back. I can't say they didn't get offended. They didn't show offense, but some of the jokes I thought of on other people were very like out there. Like I would have been upset, but so that's what he does. And I think because the Oscars keep inviting him back, he feels like he has the freedom to say and do whatever. But this situation proved that he didn't. Again, I say both men should apologize. Well, Myra, they both have made statements apologizing one to the other. And I don't know if it was, some people said, well, it's like you're never going to be able to please everybody regardless of what you do. Some people were saying in the comments that the apologies wasn't sincere. It was just order from it came from their people. Well, regardless of who it came from, it was publicly put out there that they both apologized. So I took some comfort in that. Like, okay, so maybe they're trying to work to resolve it. But even in them resolving it, it still doesn't mean that we're not having, like we're having now a conversation about it. So I just was like, first, I was in shock. I thought it was scripted first. Then I was in shock, like, did this really just happen? Then I was like, is he going to go to jail? Like it was so many thoughts going through my mind because that is an assault. I agree, Tana. It was very unfortunate. It was very unfortunate. And again, I hope we can get back to the celebration of it all. Let's bask in Samuel L. Jackson's win. Let's bask in Will Packard's production. Let's bask in the good things of it. And even in Will winning the Oscar, he won Best Actor. So that was his first Oscar ever. So hopefully we can get back. You know how we'll talk about it for a minute and it'll be a memory tomorrow. So hopefully people can get back and apologize. It was very necessary. It was necessary that they apologize, whether it came from a sincere place or not. I'm just happy to see that. Hopefully it came from a sincere place, but I'm just happy to see that they're trying to resolve. We're living in the last days. That is so right. Fun creation, and this is just another example of those last days. Like, I don't know, y'all. I'm glad to hear that I'm not the only one feeling how I'm feeling about it. I'm glad to know that some are saying they wanted their husband to protect them, just not in that way. And I think that's kind of the energy across the board. Some are saying he deserved a slap. I have a feeling about that, because if we are so offended by others violating us, why are we not as offended by us about violating us? So to me, violence is violence, whether it's coming at the hand of your own or the hand of another race. I just didn't like the violence. I didn't like the violence at all. I feel like Will could have handled it in a different way. I feel like he should have called him off stage or caught him off stage at the after party. If they know each other, call him, call his people, have your people call his people, like, hey, I don't like that, it could have been handled differently. But now one narrative that really bothered me was someone was attacking Jada, saying that it was all her fault. An apology would never fix it. But Leon, okay, if we say that, then we have to be able to forgive and move on. Why do you say that, Leon? Like, you saying an apology. So even if they apologize, it's never going to make it right. You think it's just doomed forever? Or can we take the apology and say, okay, they both big boys and girls, and they've learned from their mistake, because it's on voodoo, it'll never be lived down. We will always be, I agree, Shadell, we will always be talking about this. They all need Jesus in the forefront. That is so true. It is, it's going to always be. This girl, Karen, said, I would have slapped my husband when we got home. He would have had, yes, Trevina, I just told my son the other day how it's okay for another. Exactly. So we have, y'all, especially us, we have to be careful of that. We want to form a march. We want to form get a whole movement going if it's someone else violating us. But we have become so comfortable and complacent with us violating us. Like, we, as a race, we do more damage to ourselves than any in this day and time. I won't say than ever, but in this day and time, we do just as much. I won't say more. Just as much damage to ourselves with the black on black crime, the black on black violence, the jealousy, the envy, the strife, all of the things that we shouldn't be doing. We do too much of that to ourselves. We're the only race that uses songs and slangs to degrade each other. And at one point, those same slangs and same terms was degrading, but now we say the B word like it's a term of endearment. Now we say the N word like it's a term of endearment. But if someone else says it about us or says it to us, we're ready to form a whole, Black Panther movement. So we have to be careful not to walk in hypocrisy, where violence is violence, whether it comes from us or whether it comes from another race. No one should be mistreated. No one should be violated. So I don't want us as a people to be comfortable with seeing us hurt us. We've had enough of that. You know what I'm saying? So I want us to be just as appalled at seeing one of us hit one of us as we are at seeing one of them hit one of us. You know what I mean? So I didn't like that at all. I didn't like that these were two very well accomplished, very, very well accomplished men in their career fields. Like, Chris Rock is a household name. Will Smith is a household name. And we got our children looking at these two men, and some of our young men may look up to them and may want to be comedians one day, or may want to be, a rapper, or, Will Smith is more than just a rapper. He's a rapper, producer, actor, very good actor. Even Chris Rock, very good actor. They both have done wonderful things, but look at how quickly one little split decision could cancel all that out. All of those great things they did was canceled out with just one act. And so that's why I go back to, I think is it Romans? I think it's Romans 14:16. Don't let your good be evil spoken of. Y'all, we have to be so mindful of that. Not just in their incident, but in our day-to-day walk. Like, if you be honest with yourself, we're tested every day. Whether at your job, with your kids, with your family, with your friends, with your foes, whoever. You're tested. You're tested every day. You can either take the red pill and walk away and just pray, or you could take the blue pill and strap with them and tussle with them. Like, you have the choice. Have to make that choice on a daily basis. Am I gonna cuss them out today, or am I gonna pray for them? Am I gonna utter words of prosperity and peace over them, or am I gonna curse them from the ground they stand on? Like, you have to make better choices. And when you're in the heat of the moment, it's easy to say it sitting here now. Just last week, I was in a situation at home. I think I put it in a live where this lady was very disrespectful. Took my basket, threw my stuff out the basket like it was trash. And when I told her this is my basket, she was gonna walk off and not put the stuff back in the basket. Now, I could have tussled with her. You know what I'm saying? A part of me wanted to, but I had to. What's more important here? You know what I'm saying? Is it really that big of a deal? You know what I'm saying? Is it, yeah, I need you to put my stuff back in my basket, but I'm not finna fight with you over this basket. And so with Will, like, he should have, which he didn't think about what he had to lose. And some say Will won't lose nothing. That Will gonna be where in the world did this fly come from? That Will gonna be doing movies next week. Maybe. However, this is still a negative light that was shined over his very, very long list of accomplishments. And so we have to, as a people, try to be a positive energy everywhere we go, because we don't know if that woman had a breakdown before they got to the Oscars, on the way to the Oscars, and think about it, y'all, if we getting ready for something important. And I know I'm just chatting or whatever, but say you getting dressed, and we're notorious for, oh, I don't like my hair. Oh, I don't like my makeup. Oh, this ain't right. Oh, that ain't right. We're insecure, but we got to get there. So we trying to save face. We don't know what the situation was, what the conversation was before we got there, before it escalated to that point. But because you don't know, we need to always be considerate of other people's feelings. It was truly the wrong time I totally agree. It was the wrong time. It was wrong. It was not handled in the most mature way. How are we to teach young people nonviolence if they see adults acting this way? Also, I saw another clip of some Caucasians in the audience having real good laughs. We were our own worst enemy. And I totally agree with that. I watched a clip of The View this morning because I wanted to see what different people's viewpoint was going to be on it. And Sonny had some very explicit things to say, and she was speaking out of her own frustration and her own hurts. They were valid points, and it was hard to hear, but it was very valid. Like, you can't be a positive role model and display negative energy at the same time. They're either like one is going to cancel out the other. It's like when you walk in a dark room, as soon as you turn the light on, the darkness goes away. So you either going to represent a positive way or you're going to represent a negative way. And yes, he's human. Yes, he makes mistakes, but it don't change the fact that this is what we're talking about. You see what I'm saying? So I just took it from the standpoint of, Lord, today is will. But tomorrow, with one split decision, it could easily be one of us. We could easily be on somebody's news because we just snapped out or, done something. Think about, like, I remember an incident. My girlfriend lives in Houston, and she called me one day. She was upset. She was on the interstate, and there was a road rage situation. And this person cut somebody off, and the person followed them. I think it made the news, but she was actually on the interstate while that was happening some years ago. And the person followed the person off the interstate that cut them off. Did that just okay? And in their rage, they shot the person that cut them off on interstate. So that split decision, look at how many people were affected by that split decision. Like, you don't know what the mental state of people is, y'all. I don't want to keep y'all on here all night long, but I just wanted to just come on and see where my people was, what the energy was. If I'm feeling what I'm feeling, what did Gloria say? That's why we have to stay prayed up. That's right. You have to, because you don't, at any given moment, it could be you. You could be in a similar situation, or your husband could be put in a similar situation, especially with our, with the men of color. Like, our prayers hit different for our men, because at any moment they could be the victim of, they could be another, a hashtag. You see what I'm saying? So we have to be careful of the energy that we put out there, especially as a people. Like, you can't display violence and then we as a people condone that violent behavior and then be offended when it's done from another race. So y'all, I'm gonna let y'all go, but I'm happy to know that I'm not the only one. I'm happy to see the opinions of other people. It kind of brought some clarity to some different things. Thank you, Tara. I'm glad you joined me. I'm glad you all took the time to join me. Earlier in the pandemic, I had a woman standing close up on me and wouldn't move back. See, that right there, baby, is enough to put somebody to the edge, because in the pandemic, it's a pandemic. We're in a panic state of mind. So you don't know what the mental state of people are. So you have to be mindful of your actions, so that even if it is ill on their part, we have to, as the Bible says, turn the other cheek. And sometimes it ain't always easy to turn the other cheek, but it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? So I want you all to pray for me, and I pray for y'all. I want you all to stay safe, remain royal. Pray for your husbands. I pray for your loved ones, your sons, your daughters, anyone that's out here in this crazy world trying to do this thing called life. Because as we can see, you're just a split second away from making, I posted it today, the best decision of your life or the worst mistake of your life. So I hope y'all choose wisely. I love y'all. And I'll be back on Wednesday with a decorating video, because that's what y'all here for. Love y'all. Bye.